Welcome back, boys and ghouls. It's me, your host, Sarah Stephenson, and Mike Stephenson.
Hi, guys.
And as I said before, this is Boys and Ghouls, if I didn't say it enough for you guys. And as usual, I like to advise if you are a troll or witch for that matter, please leave this room because we don't like trolls. And I've been seeing quite a few lately, and I don't like them.
Yes. We won't go there.
Won't go there. So anyway, tonight we're reviewing this interesting zombie movie that's an independent one, I should mention.
A very good one, too.
Called Dance of the Dead. That was made or released in 2008.
Exactly. Now, I'll go through all the usual stuff, producing, directing things. Now, as I probably said before, I love independent films. It shows a lot of creativity and a lot of hands-on stuff. Yeah. Anyway,
same here.
Excuse me.
And there's a good selection of cast members involved in this one.
We'll get onto that later in a minute. Anyway, produced by Greg Bishop and Ehud Bleeberg, I think is the right pronunciation. Mm-hmm. Directed by Greg Bishop. Written by Joe Ballerini. Edited by Greg Bishop. See, hands-on. Yeah. And distributed by Bleeberg Entertainment. So obviously Ehud Bleeberg has got something to do with that. Mm-hmm. And Ghost House Underground.
Cool. Name.
I don't know about any budgeting or anything, because this had a limited release and then went straight to DVD. And I don't know what it cost to make. And so it's really hard, but it's supposed to be a reasonably limited budget. So if this is what a bunch of people could do on a limited budget, they've done great.
Yeah, just what Roger Corman or Rob Zombie would have done.
I don't miss Rob Zombie.
Hey.
He takes good movie and puts sex and then all of a sudden he tries and does a remake. Yeah, no.
Hey, don't knock Rob Zombie.
I like Rob Zombie's music, White Zombie and everything. That's great. But yeah, I've seen remakes of good movies and they're not quite the same.
And the same I could say for George Romero's.
Not Georgie.
No, not Doc him, but he may turn the zombie genre into a
living, breathing entity.
Yeah, quite right. Exactly the right words for it. But yeah,
he breathed life back into the zombies.
But thanks to him, he did kind of made zombie movies into an art form.
It made them respectable once again. I mean, they used to have the old zombie movies back in, the 50s, 40s, 50s? Yeah, Bob Hope, have a movie. There was Ghost Chasers. There was a zombie in that. No, Ghost Breakers. Yeah, Ghost Breakers. And other movies had a zombie in it. It wasn't like they are now, have a whole town is full of zombies. Interesting.
That was a different type of zombie, doing voodoo and a bit of dark magic.
Yeah, but they had zombies, like White Zombie and all those other good movies back in those days. But the point is, that was the odd one or two zombies running around. This is a whole town. So.
Yeah, so anyway, who stars in this film?
I'm glad you asked. No. Now, excuse me, everybody. Okay, Jarrett Kuznets, I think it's the right pronunciation, plays Jimmy, the pizza guy. Well, he's one of the students at school, but he's does pizza stuff on the side, and he's interesting guy. He's been in other movies. I can't remember what they're called at the moment because I wasn't actually reviewing him. But he's been around other things before this, even though he's a young guy. So anyway, a girl by the name of Grayson Chadwick plays Lindsay, Jimmy's girlfriend. Carissa Capobianco plays Gwen, a popular cheerleader, rather attractive girl. All right, so actually they're all attractive people.
Very nice.
Randy McDowell. Jules, the president of the Sci-Fi Club. Talk about nerd. Anyway.
Hey, don't knock the nerds thing.
Are good.
Bear in mind, I like to think that George Romero, George Lucas, and Steven Spielberg, they were once probably picked on at school.
They probably started off the nerdy kid in there in the library all the time or doing something.
I mean, this is probably one of the reasons why the screenwriter in this one would have based it around his upbringing,
Probably.
being treated like
An outcast.
picked on and teased. And
Is a pariah the right word for it? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway, moving right along, Chandler Darby plays Stephen, another class nerd, probably a member of Sci-Fi Club from memory.
Yeah.
Now, Justin Welborn. He plays Kyle, a weird, aggressive student. I'm not sure whether he's supposed to be on ice or whatever. He's totally out of control and really funny. He's probably nothing like that, but he plays a really weird role. Now, this could... Blair Redford. Redford. He plays Nash Rambler. He's a band leader. There's a punk, metal, gothic, whatever band in this movie, a three-piece, and he's your leader. Rather attractive guy, and if he's doing the singing and stuff, he's not too bad.
I certainly think it was cool.
One of the other band members is Lucas Till, plays Jensen. He's a band member there. I can't remember if he's a bass player or the drummer. Now, another funny weirdo one. I like funny weird people. Mark Oliver plays Coach Keel. He's a school coach, a sports coach, with some kind of military background. And I think he should see a psychiatrist. Now, he is a real weird guy. I think he's still in the military. Anyway, he's really interesting. He's fun to watch. Now,
drop down, give me 20!
Yeah, for the kids, Now, James Jarrett, the last, he plays a gravedigger. He opens the movie, he's working in the graveyard when it starts, and at the end of it, he has a really good closing line, which we might talk about later on.
Well, actually, he doesn't have a closing line.
Well, he's left the clean. He
just
goes,
there.
oh shit, or something. You got to clean up the mess after all the apocalypse.
Well, he didn't swear, actually.
He said, oh darn, or something under his breath there, and he just goes, you got to clean up all the crap because all these dead bodies hanging around. He's a gravedigger.
And be careful, Mike, with the language.
I'm saying what he said on the... I think he said something like, yeah, whatever.
We have a mixed audience out there, and there could be kiddies
Don't
out
say
there,
shit.
too.
No.
Don't say that.
Oh, yes, that's a naughty word, kiddies. And if you do it, your mummy and daddy won't like it.
Nope.
No, but he just says, he mutters something like shit or damn or crap. Because you got to clamp all the dead bodies all over the place.
Moving on.
There's only one gravedigger.
Moving on. Okay.
Well.
Who else?
That's it. Now the gravedigger. I'll put him last.
Yeah. So that's all I cast, and it's a good selection of people who are a mixture of nerds and geeks
nerds,
and stuff.
The nerds win out. They say they can't save everybody because they've already been killed by the zombies, but they kill the zombies.
Yeah, unlike the other zombie movies where we have, if you've seen most of the zombie movies where they deal with military and a mix of people. Like,
the military comes in and then some scientists help out, and then the scientists are told bugger off, but the scientists end up saving the day where the military guys get all killed. That sort of stuff.
Or something like that.
Like Resident Evil's a bit like, isn't it?
Yeah, I know in the past, I should bring up before we go on, last year I was going to try to get around to doing zombie movies, but then the lockdown happened.
And people dying.
And I didn't think right there and there was a good time to bring in zombie outbreaks, yada, yada, yada.
So now we might do this tonight, and we might do World War Z later on and other good groovy movies.
Maybe Night of the Living Dead.
Oh, yes, a bit of George A. Romero, yeah.
Or even Resident Evil.
Yeah, Resident Evil, that's a good one.
That's a good
more
one.
Zombies.
Yeah. So anyway, I'll move into
Parliament sitting, they're full of zombies. No.
So anyway, I'll move into the movie itself. So it starts off with these kids preparing for prom, and there's this horror, and in this very town is this interesting gas plant, whatever they call it.
It's a nuclear power plant.
Nuclear
a little
power
bit like
plant.
in the Simpsons, they got the nuclear power plant in the background. And then with Simpsons there, they say, there's nothing wrong here, and they've got a three-eyed fish or something else.
Yeah,
I'm
surprised.
Well, this one here's got the same sort of thing happening, but for people,
Yeah, even though they have it's right there. It's the elephant in the room, and deep down there's nothing good about this plant.
I wouldn't have one next door to me. But
No.
I know, look, I believe nuclear power is probably the way to go in the future. But I wouldn't recommend having it in a suburban area. Not
Yeah.
because of zombies or anything, but there would be some toxins and
Yeah.
stuff and other problems with it. So,
Yeah.
but they always put them in the wrong place.
Yeah, so anyway, it's getting close to prom. Everyone is getting their dresses, their stuff together, preparing for prom queen, yada, yada, yada. Except for a bunch of the geeks who, one of them wanted to go to prom with a cheerleader, but she turned him down to date one of the band members who was also going to take part in the festivities, but I guess they were taken, but I guess another band decided to become the band to play the music.
School teachers didn't like the band.
And the music rocked.
I know whoever's playing the music, I didn't look at the credits or anything, but the guys, the music that they did as that band in the movie was really raunchy, grungy,
And great.
what wasn't I can't put into words whether it's hard rock or touches of gothic metal. So I don't know. It's in there somewhere, and it's really good.
Oh baby.
No, not that they did the soft ballad one.
I do like that one.
The grungy ones.
But the grungy ones are cool.
really good. I like grunge. I used to be in a punk band years ago.
Yes, so moving on.
Anyway,
So,
carry on.
meanwhile, Lindsay, the girlfriend of, Jimmy's girlfriend, she wants to go to prom and to have all these great memories of them together. But Jimmy he just doesn't feel in the prom spirit or anything like that. So she dumps him and tries to go for a guy who's a popular guy.
Yeah, really upping himself too.
Yeah, and Jimmy and the
rich
other
kid
kids
type.
who are outcasts are treated rather unfairly by their teachers.
The sci-fi club guys.
Yeah.
The four nerdy guys. Yeah, four nerds.
Yeah, and they feel like they're outcasts.
They were.
Yeah.
They were geeks. I'm sorry, they were really geeks.
Yeah, just so you know, anyone who's normal or popular in this either dies or goes into hiding.
Hey, wasn't there a movie called Revenge of the Nerds?
Yes, maybe.
Well, this is a zombie apocalypse type Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah. As I said, this depicts the geeks and the outcasts as heroes in this. Unlike the ones who just don't know what to do and they hide or run or just pee their pants.
Exactly right.
Yes, as you soon will see. So anyway,
I hope you see it.
So anyway, everyone's getting ready to go to prom. Jimmy, on the other hand, can't go to prom because he's called in by his boss at Pizza Ria.
Well, no, he wasn't going to go to the prom. He's going to do a delivery on the way to the prom.
Yeah, so he's told to go do a delivery unscheduled to some residence. Anyway, meanwhile, Lindsay is with her date, and they, instead of going directly to prom, they go directly to the graveyard. And
what a great place to go parking.
Yes, a great place to park
I've never done
do
it
whatever. Meanwhile, the science club members, they decide to go down to the graveyard too to play around with some special equipment.
They're testing out, I suppose, probably EMF type equipment to see if they can find a ghost.
Exactly.
They find more than they bargain for, don't they?
Yes. Of course, the graveyard digger tells them to stay on the path, even though that doesn't do us any good. Does it?
Because the zombies went on the path as well.
Yes. As it turns out, they head into a crypt. No comment cameo to Jonkus here.
Okay, leave Johnny out of this one. Okay, I love John, but
anyway, they go into a crypt and they get tackled by these zombies. They start coming out of the woods. They even killed and decapitated Lindsay's date.
He deserved it. He was nasty guy.
Yeah. So they jump into his car and they try to make a break for it. And for a while they do a good job, but then they run out of gas. Meanwhile, Jimmy is delivering the pizzas and he meets the zombie.
Well, he delivers the pizzas to the house, and the people have already been attacked by zombies, and you got a zombie family.
Yeah, it seems like everyone that you see in this will be a zombie. Even the parents. I wouldn't be surprised that when Jimmy goes home tonight, he'll probably meet his mum and find out she's a zombie now.
Yeah.
Maybe.
We don't know, you see.
That's
Interesting concept.
Interesting. So anyway, he then meets up with a school bully of his, who's a bit of a really creepy outcast.
Yeah, Kyle.
Yes, he's
Kyle, the weird, nasty guy. And he's sitting there. He's supposed to be tough all the time, being nasty and control.
Yeah.
He's sitting in there. I sitting on the ground next to his overturned van, whimpering like a little child. It'll be funny.
He also has a gun, which is mentioned in much earlier in the movie that he carried around a gun, which could
Nice revolver, very nice.
probably to shoot cans or do.
Or to rob stores or whatever,
whatever.
Or shoot the next door neighbour's cat or something or other.
Or whatever comes to mind.
Anyway, carry on.
So anyway, he meets up with what's her name? The cheerleader girl.
Gwen, isn't it?
Yeah, Gwen. They meet up with Gwen, who just happens to be jogging on the footpath, and they're about Kyle nearly comes close to shooting her.
Yeah, he got out of control. He's really good.
Yeah, he actually did some really awesome beating up scenes in this. Like he kind of kicks a zombie, and all you see is his legs and tripping down the
he breaks him, cuts him in half, does something to him. Yeah, you can see the legs running away and that.
Oh, that was like something out of a chicken joke.
Yeah, it's a bit
Or chicken gag.
Blue and green screen goes a long way in these movies.
I just like it. It's just like those chicken jokes where you think you chop a head off a chicken
and
it runs around and around like a. Well, you get it.
Yeah, just like a politician or something. Yeah.
Anyway, Jim then finds out his girlfriend is in a building nearby. So Gwen, Jim, and Kyle, they head into the sewer to avoid more zombies in order to reach them. And there we find a sort of leakage of probably sewage.
No. That's not sewage. That's the stuff from the power plant.
Yeah, from the plant itself. Somehow it's leaking into the pipe area.
The pipes in the ground, and it's getting everywhere.
And it's fuming up to the surface of sorts.
And bringing the bodies back to life.
Yeah, hint, hint.
Hey, I wonder if you put a mummy there, an old mummy, just dust and everything.
I see what you're going here.
Would that bring a mummy back to life? Because that's pretty old and there's no tissue left and stuff. So
That's an interesting thought.
I'm wondering how strong this stuff is.
It's a good thought, Mike.
Then you actually really have a chat to Tutankhamun or Ramesses.
I may have to think about that one next time I do a zombie flick.
Yeah. Bring some real mummies back, like in what do you call it? Thing with Brendan Fraser in it.
You mean the Mummy?
The Mummy, yeah, the Mummy movies, yeah. Yeah, that's what they powdered mummy, you know.
Anyway, moving on back to this movie. So they end up regrouping with our other heroes who just happen to be in a building, and as it turns out, to their absolute horror of horrors, they're in a funeral home. Whoops. Not the last place you want to be on a Friday night.
When all the dead people are coming back to life.
Yeah.
Who's in the fridge? Who's behind door number 1? You know.
Yeah. They encounter, say 3 or 4 zombies in the funeral home.
And that's where they were downstairs.
Yeah.
And they're right in the fridge area.
Yeah. Eventually, Carl gets killed by one of them.
Yeah, well, he gets bitten on the neck or something rather than he drops off pretty quick.
And he rises very quick. Yeah. Eventually, the heroes disable him smash him up with their feet, their hands.
You know what? I reckon they probably got a lot of joy of that because he was a school bully.
And
he couldn't put the boot in, cut his head off.
But they kind of did bonded at one point in this.
They were trying
scene.
to. They weren't by sucking up to him. They needed his help.
Yeah,
they're not quite the same thing as bonding.
They realise that they don't have a chance of being in this death house, so they have to look for other means of transportation.
There's a hearse outside.
Yes, with keys.
And a chair as well. No.
So they get Gwen to jump and try to get to the car before the zombies do.
So Gwen's a good runner.
Yes, she's a cheerleader, should I mention?
Yeah, she's very fit. So she bolts out the front door,
Yes.
and makes her way through the creepy guys.
Yes.
Makes her way to the hearse, and then she jumps in there and she swings the car around and gets nearer to the house. The other guys run down to the car and they jump in.
And and they don't get to very far until both the tires pop.
Yeah, I know. Someone shoot him out.
Yeah,
I think
it
that
turns
I
out it
think
was-
the nutcase, the coach did it.
Yeah, the gym teacher
Yeah.
guy. He probably shot the tires out, thinking that there's zombies inside
Zombies
the
don't
hearse.
normally drive cars.
Actually,
No,
in
wait
this
a minute.
movie they did.
A couple of them drove a car. They stole Jimmy's car, yes.
Yeah.
But normally zombies walk around a lot. Yeah.
Yeah,
They've got nowhere to go. Why get into a car?
I don't know.
You know?
If you watched, let me see, what's it called, House of the Dead? And sometimes in those games, you see the zombie is actually driving a car. Sometimes.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Of course, it doesn't go successfully. They end up grunting and then ending up pulling over and crashing to another car.
Yeah, because I'm very good at it. Yeah.
So anyway, moving on. So the gym teacher suits them up with lots of army equipment and stuff, some weapons and stuff. Of course, he says, "Guns are mine," and he gives them machetes and sharp weapons, knives, axes, gosh knows what.
Yeah, yeah.
Very cool stuff.
Now, while all this has been happening...
Oh, there was a funny bit where Gwen says, well, the gym teacher says, you girl, you get the machete. And she says, I don't know how to shoot a machete. And
So he hands him a machete. Yeah.
that was the ad-lib, that scene.
Was it? Okay. Now, while this part's going on, the band guys are practicing in their garage. And then the zombies, they open the garage to let the smoke out because one of them is being
Smoking.
smoked a bit of dope and they want to get the
fresh air.
air fresh. And they find some zombies outside and they accidentally find out that zombies like music. So they start playing music.
Yeah, for 3 hours
3 or
straight.
4 hours straight, out of break. I hope they got paid good money for that.
I hope they have plenty of electricity running.
They had the house, yeah. Lights are on. Nobody home. No.
But
yeah.
it was kind of cool. It was like the zombies found it kind of relaxing.
I think it was something, the vibrations of music, whatever, yeah.
Anyway, they kind of that was their kind of secret weapon against them.
Because our guys leaving the funeral home meet up these guys in a few minutes.
Yeah, so after they suit up their weapons, they then run into the the band members, and they told them about what they discovered, how the music has kind of
Soothing effect
on the zombies.
Music has charms to soothe the savage beast.
Or zombie.
Oh, beastie zombies.
So they then get them to come along with them to the prom. And when they get there, the prom is a absolute mega disaster area.
Yeah, everyone's been turned.
Yeah, almost everyone. Even the teachers, the principal, some of the students.
In the lab.
Only a few remaining survivors who decided to hide in the toilets was the best way to avoid the zombies.
Well, if you're gonna go,
you gotta
go.
Yes. Luckily enough, I think that some of the geek sci-fi guys. One of them got what's his name?
I got the guy. I got the
that
geek
was
speech.
Julius, who ends up
Jules,
who
yeah.
I think he's starting to he flirts with the
cheerleader.
prom queen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's another cheerleader, I think too.
Yeah, I think so.
But anyway, and he takes command. Follow us, we'll save you.
Yeah, he sort of does a sort of interesting Luke Skywalker monologue where he says, "I'm Jules something. I'm here to rescue."
Yeah.
Sort of like
it sounded like when Luke was rescuing Princess Leia, but
I
he wasn't at a sci-fi. He wasn't president of sci-fi club, wasn't he?
Yeah,
he
Star
was.
Wars,
He probably knows all the dialogue.
Star Trek, yada yada yada.
Whatever.
So anyway, they then make plans to destroy the gym.
Yeah,
or
the coach had these little incendiary, some sort of bombs, whatever.
Yeah, some kind of C4 stuff.
Yeah, or whatever.
whatever.
And he was going to plant a couple of them around the
school.
The building auditorium where the zombies were centralized.
Somehow all the zombies were inside the gym doing
dance
stuff. Of course.
There was a zombie group up there playing, wasn't there?
Yeah, I think during a break, they probably killed them, or they stopped playing and then they killed them or something.
Whatever, yeah.
Because they didn't know the secret that the zombies, the music could soothe the zombies.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, who would know?
No one.
No, I didn't read the script, did they?
No. So anyway, so while this is happening, somehow the gym teacher, while he's in the air vents,
He's going through the egg nesting ducts.
he drops the remote in a plate of potato chips
the remote
inside
for the
the
detonator
gym.
remote. And
Inside.
a plate of chips, mind you. I mean,
Yeah.
The salt would damage the...
Yeah. While this is happening, all the kids who start bolting all the doors to make sure the zombies don't
get out. But they opened the doors again and let Jimmy and his girlfriend, Gwen...
No, not Gwen. Her name's Leslie.
Oh, Leslie, sorry.
Yeah.
When it had to go inside...
Yeah.
To find the remote control.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Gwen discovers
wait a minute.
that she's been bitten by one of these zombies, and she then confides in one of the geek guys. What's his name?
It wasn't Jules, the other guy.
No, it's not Jules.
I can't remember. One of the Greek, one of the sci-fi guys, one of the nerds.
And they kiss, have a romantic moment, and then she turns, and then she starts gorging it on his tongue. And when he turns,
Stephen, that's what. Yeah.
And when he turns, Stephen, they start having a bit of a romantic zombie moment, if you will.
And they start eating each other, literally.
Kind of romantic, a nice moment.
Boy eats girl. No,
whatever.
Whatever.
So at least they're not eating other people. That's always good.
What a way to go! You're gonna eat your girlfriend, she's gonna eat you.
So anyway, so Jimmy and Leslie, they're trying to find the remote.
But when they go, and the band guys go in there and they take over from the zombie musicians. And start playing music. To soothe the zombies while Jimmy and Leslie look through remote control.
Yeah, exactly. And eventually they have a brief romantic moment dancing amongst
the zombies
the
are dancing, so it's swaying. So they had a bit of a dance. Well, they didn't make it to the prom, did they?
Yeah.
So they had a bit of a dance.
Yeah. Eventually, somehow what do you call those speaker boxes? One of them somehow it was unplugged.
No, the power to the stage was unplugged accidentally by a zombie walking past. Yeah.
Somehow that happens, and the zombies start attacking, and eventually
doesn't one of the band members get over there, battles through there, and plugs it in?
Yeah, eventually. Yeah. And meanwhile, Jim and Leslie they're dodging her ex-date.
Yeah, Mitch. Who happened to he made it to the prom after all.
Yeah, with his severed head in hand.
And that's one thing that bothers me.
What's that?
Normally, when you kill a zombie, you smash the head in, or shoot them in the head, or cut their head off. If the head's cut off, it's not talking to the body anymore. Yeah. So, even though it's funny, zombie law says that if you rip the head off, you wouldn't have the legs running around, and you wouldn't have someone carrying his head around.
Still a comedy, Mike.
It's funny, but I'm used to real horror.
With rules and stuff like that.
But there's no rules here. It's just a lot of fun.
Anyway, so eventually, Nash was able to plug back the power, and this is where they start really bringing up some music.
Grungy punk death metal tunes. It was really good.
And all the while they're kicking zombies in the face and pounding them with their instruments.
Yeah, and having a wonderful time. The zombies aren't.
So eventually, they then run down the hallway, and the zombies are chasing after them, hot pursuit. Eventually, one of the band members gets tackled, and he gets eaten.
Yeah, they're on the way out. That was Jensen, wasn't it, the drummer?
Yeah, he was very stoned, and the very stony one.
No, the bass player.
Yes.
Stephen. No, it was, one of them.
No, it was not Stephen. We just discussed that he was.
Well, whichever one was a stoner, he got carried away.
Anyway, they get into one of the classrooms, and they're about to break for one of the windows, but then the science teacher arrives, who was the guy who, at the beginning of this movie, was really nasty to Jimmy, giving him a hard time about being so empty-headed and all that stuff.
Well, Jimmy's not empty-headed, he just wasn't interested in what's going on.
Yes.
And if you've got a really nasty teacher who's not very good at his job, you're not going to respond well, are you, kiddies?
So anyway, so Jimmy eventually, Leslie helps him tackle this creature and cut his head open, I think he did.
Yeah, slice it straight down the middle. Wow, what a great look.
Yeah.
A big rubber head split in half, like blooming like a flower. You know, really
Oh, yeah, that's clever.
What a great effect.
So anyway, they jump out the window. They then head outside, and Jimmy then clicks
he had the remote control in his hand, yeah.
and boom, the whole place
Every
goes
school
up.
child's dream of blowing up this school and the teachers and
don't get anyone's ideas up.
Well, you always dream about it. I hope the school burns down and blows up, so I don't have to go to school on Monday. You know, that sort of thing.
Great.
Well, there wasn't any school left, or at least an auditorium anyway.
And of course, the gym teacher applauds Jim's attempts and says, "You are a good soldier."
Yeah,
he calls it.
Because the gym coach, the coach didn't like him either. He said, "You're a nice little guy. He wasn't a team player, Jimmy. He didn't want to be a team player in class. Didn't want to be a team player in gym or track and field or whatever, football. He just wanted to do his own thing. And the coach and the teachers didn't like him.
Yeah, they saw him as a, what's the word most teachers often say? He's not a contributor to school.
Whatever, yeah.
That's the word?
He doesn't participate, doesn't contribute, blah, 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 yeah. Hey, I was an individual when I was at school. I was more like Jimmy than any other hero in all the other movies because I was an outcast, a fringe dweller. And I can identify with Jimmy's character because that's what I was like when I was younger.
Same here.
Yeah,
I
did my own thing, and the teachers didn't like it, but they couldn't get me on anything because I didn't break any school rules. But I did what I wanted to do, and they just had to shrug their shoulders and walk away.
Yeah. Anyway, so
I did that to my mother too.
So the
Anyway,
kids,
go there.
so all the kids, they head on to the bus coach, whatever.
Well, no, the
School bus.
The school bus, yeah. The coach would drive the school
And
bus, yeah.
the coach turns to them saying that he wants to go to the pancake house so they can organise the next plan of destroying the power plant.
Yeah, have a feed and figure out, because they knew the power plant
was responsible for all the zombies.
And how we're going to destroy the power plant. And well, we're in for that. And they went for pancakes.
And then, as the bus drives away, we see the gravedigger, and he's like, "Oh, great! Now I have to do some digging."
He mutters something like crap, shit, something like that. He has to clean up all the dead bodies and stuff and bury them all. And there's hundreds.
So
he was not a happy chappy.
Yeah, so he heads off to bury the lot of them, or bury whatever he could find. And we cut to the credits, the end.
And now words can only say so much.
Plenty.
This is a visual feast. I don't know how we did it. It was a limited budget. Must have been a little bit of green screening here and there and stuff. But I'm pretty sure it was pretty basic stuff. He made, what's his name again? Greg Bishop. What's his name? Greg Bishop made a damn fine movie. And I went through film festivals and stuff, and generally it was like, wow, that sort of, that I can't go anything more than most of the thing. Several scenes at different film festivals are sold out. Instead of getting half full rooms on one day, and no, he had to run it several times at different film festivals.
That's cool.
And they were stacked. People, and the word got around so fast. He went through several film festivals, great accolades. The critics liked it. Everyone likes it.
That is great.
It's hard to comprehend that an independent film was appreciated by so many people, the film festivals and the critics and everything. And this goes to show that a good independent person with a fresh idea, old theme, zombies and whatever, and took a bit of cliche stuff out of some old movies. A fresh idea, they got the script from somewhere, and they rewrote the script, and they put together and made a damn good movie. And I think it's a good look for anybody who likes, if you like straight horror, it's probably not straight horror, but if you don't mind a bit of comedy thrown in, it's a good laugh.
I agree.
You cackle yourself all the way through it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So anyway, the screenplay for Dance of the Dead was written in 1998, before zombie movies had returned to the mainstream.
Yeah, before they became favourable again.
Yeah, I think that, I don't know what we were into before we got back into zombies.
Yeah, but you got to look at it. Back in the old days, the 40s and 50s, we had some zombie movies.
They
dropped out. And then George Romero brought them back in again.
Yeah, I seem to.
Then they dropped off again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it seems like I remember that they did do for George. They did a remake of George Romero's Night of the Living Dead. That was back in the 90s.
Did they put,
that was probably
Tony
the last
Todd?
zombie movie until I don't know.
Did that Tony Todd in it?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's important. It goes down to faith. But look, when George Lucas did Star Wars, and he's trying to sell that, people said, sci-fi, that's been done. Because a couple of decades before, they were pumping out sci-fis. But he'd taken it to a new level. They'd actually taken a sci-fi and made it into a drama, action, sci-fi, whatever else you want to throw in there. And they couldn't appreciate it because the old sci-fis were, let's face it, a lot of them were really B movies.
Yeah.
And you had a couple of good ones thrown in there. But the rest of them would look, okay, what can we do today? Okay, let's get some people run around here in a spacesuit and say he's an alien. It doesn't quite work. Like teenagers from outer space.
And looking like, what's his name? Jim Gordon?
Whatever.
I don't know. Not sci-fi person.
But the point is, teenagers from outer space, that was a B movie. It was fun to walk around in tracksuits, that sort of thing. And they're pretty much B-grade movies. But so Hollywood, and probably England as well, couldn't see the value in coming into doing sci-fi again. And they did, and they worked. And same with horror movies. I mean, it changes genre. All the Universal monsters, your Frankenstein, your Wolfman, Draculas, they had their period. And then they got rid of them. Abbott and Costello had to play with them for a movie or two, and then they went into the closet for a while. And later on, they started doing vampire movies again, and remakes of Frankenstein and remakes of the Dracula story. But when its time is right and you got a different perspective, sometimes time does make a difference.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Just
anyway, fresh ideas. Yeah. Anyway,
agreed.
irrespective.
Yeah. Well, I always believe that if something is right and it hasn't been done before in a while, it's usually the good time to bring it back or
or reinvent the wheel. Yeah. Look, you look at something like Metropolis. One of Fritz Lang's early sci-fis. Not sci-fi. Yeah, sci-fi, whatever you want to call it. It was a great movie. It was a silent. For its day, it was a damn powerful movie.
Great.
If you did it today, you couldn't do it the same way. You'd have to rewrite the storyline a bit and do things to it. But all the nuts and bolts are there. And that's where if someone could get a fresh idea, fresh look, fresh technology, fresh filming and directing and everything else and different actors, you'd probably make a damn fine movie out of it.
Yeah, and I do feel like I am correct about, for this one, unlike in the other zombie movies, I've watched a few here and there, where they often try to depict the good-looking, the heroes and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's always there.
It's usually the pretty face women or the guy candy, stuff
the guy
like that.
candy, the guy candy, the girl candy.
Yeah. And never someone who may look like an outcast or looks like resemble anything like that.
Well, you look at the Cabin in the Woods.
Yes.
The dweeby stoner. Yeah, he was always stoned on cannabis.
Scooby-Doo type stoner.
Like Shaggy type. Yeah, and he was stoned off his face all the time, and the chemicals I put into the other people weren't affecting him because the cannabis was knocking it over. So he was immune to the chemicals, and he wasn't being affected by it, and he ended up being the hero of the movie.
Sort of.
In the end. It's sort of a strange ending of that movie, which we might do one day.
We will. I mean, that's one that has explored the genre of cabins in the woods, the genre, where a bunch of kids go into a cabin, we don't know what to expect, and then we see that there's something sinister luring a bit.
And they got no idea what's going on until later on in the movie they actually find out downstairs, and I don't mean the basement, there's something going on that no one knew about.
Yeah, this movie, the Dance of the Dead, is just one of many of genres. Like a lot of people often, if you look at any horror movies, they often, how they often pick a place that you're familiar with. Prom night is pretty much a well-known place where you could just imagine up a horror movie.
Well, you see, in America they have proms. As far as I'm aware, maybe Canada. I don't know what Canada does. Australia, we have they have end of year school dances and different things.
True.
So I think each country, well, most countries probably have something similar. So yeah, you certainly can identify a bunch of kids prom night or whatever you want to call it, dress up, go there, hire a limousine, go there, yada yada yada, have a great time, and
and then
it's usually your last year of school or something rather.
And then that's when life changes, and that's
life changes, and then these people definitely life changed in this one.
Yeah,
most of them died.
Well, in most of these movies, if you look at Prom Night and let me see, there's some other zombie movies that deal with a bunch of prom goers who end up with in a zombie-listic house and get chased down by a zombie, or even a bunch of fraternity brothers who go to a haunted house and realize that there's zombies in there.
And stuff like that. Actually,
stuff like that.
What's that? That's a video we saw. What's that actually called? The music one. The one with the.
Come on, brush.
The slasher video. It's a music video one. The slasher music video.
I don't know the name of it.
There's a slasher movie. Something
music video.
Is it Freddy Krueger High or something or other? Or
no, Wes Craven High.
Wes Craven High is in it, and you got everybody is a monster. All through it, and it's all done to a music track by some band, and it's downright funny.
I love it.
Yeah, but I mean, it all started off as all monsters, and the monsters get killed, and then a couple of them come back to life and kill the policeman. So a really good ending. It's really great fun. But it's a touch of Carrie in there and other things, and you saw Michael Myers in there, and you saw Freddy Krueger in there.
You may have seen it on YouTube, maybe. I'm not sure.
I think it's something rather slasher video. I think music video. I can't remember what it's called at the moment, but some of you might know it. Tell your friends about it. It's great.
Well, if you don't know that bit of the opening, then you'll.
But if I find later on, I'll tell you guys about it. But really funny. But I love monsters. I like comedy monsters, and I like comedy horror.
I like the classic monsters. I mean, like Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers.
Well, he was there. He was most known as slasher video. And that's a music video.
I mean, they're really great when you think about it. I mean, they were awesome slasher guys, and they brought the slasher genre into where it is today.
I mean, I think honestly, somewhere online, slasher videos aren't going to keep going. I mean, it's like everything. You have your time in the sun, and all of a sudden, the idea is going to drop off, and then they're going to bring something new in.
True.
There's always going to be hopefully, there's some really good ideas out there. Because you can't, it's like Creatures from Black Lagoon.
I remember that during the 80s that they did make a lot of slasher films back then. Most of the time dealing with people who are just campers, doing rock climbing in the woods, and then they meet the slasher killer. It doesn't matter if it's a homeless man or a weird person with a past, or even Bigfoot, or just a person they depict as Bigfoot. I don't know.
Somewhat.
And then we hear a person telling a really creepy ghost story about this sort of thing, and that builds the story in suspense, and then molds the story into the story we all know today.
And it becomes reality.
Yeah,
and then storytelling or something.
Yeah, and then
somebody saw, was it one of those short story things where a guy came in there, was out by the campfire and was telling stories to these kids around the campfire?
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called at the moment.
I can't remember the name.
But he was actually a killer.
I know for a fact in that movie it was not well received.
No, it's okay, but he was a killer, and he was the one who's going to kill them. He was telling ghost stories.
Yeah, free ghost stories, supposedly. Even one of them that you may be familiar, the one about the mysterious man with the hook, the urban legend about the hook, the mental loony who stalks women and men who are just parking in others' lane, and he just takes a hook and tries to kill them, or not kill them.
Nasty.
But you know the story, so I don't want to go into it.
Yeah, it's like Monkey Boy. Everybody knows it. So, Look, I won't talk about anything else. The critical response, everybody liked it. Film festivals loved it.
Yeah. That's what do reviewers say about it?
There's lots of reviews here, but most of them were positive,
Oh,
and
that's a relief.
and even excited positive.
That's a relief.
Instead of, I mean, not one troll amongst them.
That's a relief.
Even people who didn't actually like that genre enjoyed the movie.
Cool.
So it's got everything you need. It's funny. It's horrible. There's a bit of a love interest in it. I wouldn't say it's a formula movie, but it's got all the things there to make a good movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Should we rate it now? Do you
Oh
think?
yeah, I'm going to give it 10. I don't often give 10s. This is a 10. If I'll give it 10 and a half.
Good
I
point.
can't, but 10's a top.
I'm going to give it 10 out of 10 too, guys. I think it's great, especially how it's very relatable. Like, you can relate to these
Yeah,
characters.
and I think one of the critics said that too. Believable people, believable locations and stuff.
yeah.
I mean, it's so boy and girl next door kids, and that sort, and the nerdy kids who you probably went to school with, that sort of
Yeah,
stuff. You
like
can identify with them. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, exactly, Mike. I mean, it does. I often heard this a lot from filmmakers who say, always write about what you know.
Exactly.
And-
And I always tell Sarah something. You gotta keep it real, even in fiction and fantasy, especially fantasy. If it goes too if it's too that's fantasy, in some cases you lose interest because it's people can't identify with anything. Even something like Never-Ending Story, a fictitious land, everything, but you had a little kid there. It starts off in the real world, and he's reading a book about another world. But it keeps coming back to the real world. That was the escape area. Now, how many kids grew up having fantasies in their head and fictitious and little friends who weren't there and stuff, and use their imagination to make games up? The same sort of thing. So you can identify with it.
Exactly. So anyway, I think
works.
that's about it for us. So I hope you guys may check out this movie.
I think it's available on DVD and stuff still.
I think so. And before we cut off the air and everything, I just wanted to remind you guys, be sure to check out my upcoming film project I'm doing in April. So be sure to check it out when you're good and ready.
Documentary, what's it going to be called?
It's called The Lockdown, and it's really fantastic. And a lot of people are really excited. All the filmmakers interviewed are really excited about it.
Sarah's getting a lot of people involved. It's going to be feature length by the look of it.
Well,
she might have to actually trim some of it down too. Because
it's going to head in that general direction.
So it's, a lot of. I mean, you're not getting your big guys. Obviously, your George Lucas's and your Steven Spielbergs and stuff.
But
you're
these
getting
people
the smaller people who are really working hard at it.
Who are the filmmakers and the actors? They have worked during the COVID, and they want to share their stories and tell you guys who are beginner filmmakers that you don't have to be confined to home, confined to home and not doing anything.
Yeah, and just close up shop. And someone said, "Well, I couldn't do what I had planned, so I did other things. I spent time writing scripts or something or other."
Yeah,
or doing some post production work. And we had a friend who she does stage acting and some film work, and so she was due to do a stage production last year, and they put it back, and they end up cancelling it. So a stage production she was working on.
Yeah, but she still did some stuff along the way. She even worked on a script.
I know. No, she did that on the side. Yeah, but
and
she found things to do.
And she met up with a lot of her actor friends to go over it with them.
Yeah, I was saying. But she lost that part, but she had time to do the other stuff.
Yeah.
So, you lose here and you gain somewhere else. You don't just say, oh, I'm going to go and cry in the corner for the next 12 months.
Yeah.
No, you don't do that.
It's not good to just close up shop, because what kind of example is that setting for everyone else?
Yeah.
To think that you give up it during a hard moment in history.
It has been a hard 12 months. I mean, in some areas worse. I mean, hasn't been that bad in Australia. Some areas of Australia have been bad, and America's been pretty bad in some areas, and England's been bad, and India's been bad, and some other places in Europe have been bad. And life goes on.
Yeah, exactly.
You really have to. You have to look at the pot of gold end of the rainbow sort of thing. Say, okay, this will be finished one day. You can't say it's going to be here. It's not zombie apocalypse. We're not all going to be dead in 12 months. Life goes on. We're getting through this, and it's their story.
Yes. So anyway, thanks for listening to this latest podcast, guys. So this is Mike Stephenson. I mean,
You're not Mike.
This is Sarah Stephenson,
And I'm Mike.
and we're saying unpleasant dreams.
Goodbye.
See you around, guys.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.